Given that a pedophile can be a close family friend or a child's father or a stranger, it is important to know how to identify one to protect your child. I know that I'm a credible source because I was molested when I was 6 years old by a guardian of mine that was supposed to be taking care of me. Pedophiles are a menace to society, and that is why I want to give you how to identify one, whether it's a family friend, a husband, or a brother. Pedophilia description does not change no matter what dictionary you look it up in. It may vary, but it doesn't change. When I was doing my research, I came across this article on Psychology Today, which was published in Success Magazine in February 9th, 2022. It states that pedophilia is an ongoing sexual attraction to children, and it's children that has not yet hit puberty. The article also states that pedophilia is defined as a recurring, intense sexual arousing fantasy, sexual urges, or behaviors involving in sexual activity which pubescent child or children does those individuals usually targets children who are generally aged 13 or younger. I was 6. Over a period of at least 6 months. It also later states that pedophiles are more often men and can attract either both sexes. I know this article is speaking the truth because I'm a female. He was a male. He didn't just attack me or assault me, sexually assault me. He sexually assaulted some of the males in the orphanage as well. So it wasn't just me. Now that I have told you what a pedophile is defined as, I will let you know the diagnosis criteria. Some of the diagnosis criteria that I found on the Psychology Today, which was in an article that is called the Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of a Mental Disorder, or the person has to be at least 16 years old or at least 5 years older than the person that is doing the sexual behavior. The person also is sometimes 12 or 13-year old, involve an ongoing sexual relationship. This individual is exclusively attracted to children, and not the gender, but the age. As a victim myself, I was 6 years old. And I know that the man that attacked me, that sexually assaulted me, met those criteria. I do not wish to expose anyone's sexual trauma back up again, but think of a time where if you were sexually molested as a child, did those criteria, did the person who did that to you, did they meet those criteria? And if so, do you think me saying these things can help you identify one in the future? Not for you, but for your child. Now that I have discussed it, what criteria must be missed for someone to consider a pedophile, I'm going to tell you about the traumas and injury a pedophile might face. For example, when I was reading on the Center for Disease Control, one of the common injuries that I've come across was the TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. And those can occur by like sports injuries, falls, or acts of violence, or collisions, or bikers, or drivers, accidents, stuff like that. The Centers for Disease Control also stated that not only do those can happen, but also like a bullet or a scalpel to the head. Also, while I was reading in the Al Blanc source, I found that a person with a pedophile also has really low IQs. I would say when that happens to your child, what I would give you as an advice, whenever your child come home and said, hey, this happened to me and I didn't like it, I would say, believe your child, keep an open line of communication with your child, get as many nanny cams as possible, and get your child out of the environment if it comes down to it, and report it to the authorities. Now that I've given you those, steps you can take if something were to happen to your child. Those are my personal opinion. There's no facts to them whatsoever. That is what I would have want to happen when I told what happened to me. In conclusion, I would state that pedophiles are a menace to society and harmful towards children. Therefore, it would be a wonderful guide that I gave you to go with knowing how to identify a pedophile. Today, I give you information on how to identify a pedophile, not only by the definition of a pedophile, but the criteria that must be met in order for someone to be considered a pedophile. After I was sexually molested as a child by my guardian, I knew firsthand what it was like to experience betrayal by someone who was supposed to provide, protect, and nurture me. My innocence was taken away that day, and I would never give it back. I will never get that back. And I hope that this can help you save your child or your loved one. It's too late for me, but it's not too late for your child.